Hi everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am broadcasting to you live from Central Europe, Budapest. Today we are looking at an IELTS Task 2 writing. We are looking at an IELTS Task 2 question that will request you to choose one side. Today is October 26th, and as usual our materials do come from our websites. aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Lots of help there for you if you're doing academic. And if you're doing general IELTS, make sure to check us out at gieltshelp.com. All right. So let's get right into it today. Hi Tainder, hi Chunu, hi Preeti, hi Sanya, hi everyone joining in around the world. Get your IELTS helmets on. And let's get going. You can get our books from your Amazon bookstore, the exams that we use in these classes for the reading, listening sections. Just search for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS, and you'll find our books in your Amazon bookstore. If you have questions, let me know, adrian@aehelp.com. All right, tomorrow we have a members chat only class, but of course everybody's welcome to join in. Here we go, our task 2 question of the day. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Present a written argument or case to an educated reader with no specialist knowledge of the following. It means you have to write a clear answer in an intelligent way with strong communication, and don't assume or don't think that your reader knows all of the information that you know. So you have to be clear on that. And then here is the question. So some people believe that success in life comes from taking risks or chances. Others believe that success results from careful planning. Which do you agree with and why? Write at least 250 words, okay? It means you have to write a minimum of 250 words. There's no maximum. A couple students asked me in the last little bit, is there a maximum word limit? Like, can I not write more than 500 words? No, there isn't, but you should always focus on having good quality writing. If you have good, clean, high-quality writing, you can get a better band score. Even if you just write 220 words, you will lose a little bit for not reaching 250, but you can still get a better score than writing 300 words. That's bad grammar, bad spelling, bad information. That's going to get you a low band score, okay? So make sure you spend 40 minutes on this task and only 20 minutes on task 1, because this one is worth about 65–66% of your writing score, so it's worth the majority, okay? So make sure you take your time planning and writing this. All right, so you see the question, what should you do? And I know that there's a lot of students out there, such as Naveen, one of our members who just joined in, and Jubilant James as well, a regular viewer, that knows right away what you should do. When you look at this question, you read it, bada bing, bada bang, immediately you take this step, which is, drum roll please, brrr, and the correct answer being, I'm sure you're going to see it in the chat here in 2 seconds from some of your fellow students, paraphrase the question. Okay, so that's your first step. You paraphrase the question. It is a very important step. Never jump or skip this step. Even if you are really confident in your English ability and you're really confident in your IELTS skills, never skip the step of paraphrasing, all right? In fact, when you're in university or college, I highly recommend paraphrasing your questions on your assignments and your exams. And if you have a chance, even ask the teacher, is this paraphrase correct for this question? Because sometimes even a professor can make a mistake and go, oh, that's not actually what I was trying to ask you. I wanted to ask you something else. So paraphrasing the question, it's a double check to make sure that you're writing on the right question and giving correct information. If you write about the wrong information, I actually looked at an essay today that a student sent for scoring, and that was the big mistake. They didn't write on the question. If they would have paraphrased the question, they could have gotten a much higher mark, but they actually went way off topic because they misread the question. So paraphrasing, you check and make sure you understand the question and you get some good vocabulary. So try to paraphrase. Paraphrase means to say the same idea using different words, okay? So I'll give you an example. You can try this on your own and type it into the chat. I'll see if you're on the right track. So certain individuals think, okay? So far, instead of some people, it's certain individuals. Instead of believe, it's think that success in life comes from taking risks. Okay, let's try to say that a different way. Think that achievement in life or throughout the years, if we want to get even more tricky, is gained by taking chances. And here in the question, you kind of see that as well, risks or chances. It's kind of the same thing. So risks and chances, same idea. If I want to say chances or taking risks, another way I can say by gambling. Okay, gambling is not just for going to the casino and putting bets on something, but gambling is actually the technical way of expressing taking chances, okay? So Priya, I think people can get success from the ups and downs in their life is off topic, okay? So be careful with that. So far so good. Certain individuals think that achievement throughout the years is gained by gambling, okay? By taking risks. Others believe that success, so others believe or others assert, is another way to say believe, that positive results, okay? That's some descriptive paraphrasing. So another way to say success is by using a word combination, positive results. Positive results arguably are successes, okay? So others assert, reckon, XYZ, ABC. It's a bit of an awkward Southern style English in the US. I personally don't prefer using the word reckon in writing. It has some other meanings that are a bit awkward. So that's why I say assert. Others assert that positive results are attainable by calculative organizing and planning. Okay, and then which do I agree with and why? So there's my paraphrase, okay? So have a look at that. So there's the original, there's the paraphrase. Of course, you want to check and make sure that they are expressing the same ideas. And now we have lots of good vocabulary for our essay. We're sure of our ideas, and we can go to the next step, okay? For all the students that are joining in, you'll see this question in the stream description as well. I've put it up there so you can always come back to it, okay? As you're writing, it's not a bad idea to look at the question every now and again to make sure that you haven't gone off topic. It's really bad to go off topic, okay? All right, Tainder says, some masses think that success can be achieved by taking chances, whereas other masses, Tainder is a bit of an awkward use of the word. It does make sense, but it's a bit awkward to achieve success, okay? All right, so what do I do next? Okay, what do I do next? So what's my next step here? It is very important. should be fairly easy because you actually see it on the board, okay? So before you write your thesis, Tyender, you need to think of your topic and your controlling idea. It's really important, especially with these kind of philosophical questions, to identify your topic and identify your controlling idea, okay? So meanwhile, I'll read one more of these paraphrases. Pradeep says, certain people assume that our achievement depends on taking risks and chances. Others believe that success can be met by formulating plans. Sure, don't use the word our or us or we, Pradeep. It's a bit awkward. It reaches towards second person voice of author. So I say it's better to avoid we or us in the essay, okay? This is a first person essay, so you can use I, me, my. It's asking for your opinion. It says, which do you believe is the better approach, okay? All right. What is the topic? Ladies and gents, what are we actually talking about here? What's the topic of this question? And this is really important. If you don't pay attention to this and you don't clearly identify this, your essay can be weaker and can be quite off base. So Jubilant James says, hey, the topic here is success in life. Yeah, so it's success in life and achieving success, right? So, all right, so success in life is the key here. So then use that critical thinking. So you notice here I've put up critical thinking. Critical thinking means asking what, why, and how. So let me just copy this over to the topic, and then let's talk about that. So what is success in life? Okay. Clearly, your answer of whether or not you should take chances or you should plan your ideas is connected to what you actually believe success is in life. So what is success in life? And that in itself can be a tricky question. So what is success in life? What does that mean? What does it mean to you? Jubilant James says it's connected to self-esteem. It can be, Jubilant. Sorry, I realize your family name is James now. So it can be Jubilant. It can be self-esteem. There's a dash between self-esteem. It's connected as one word, by the way. And you need to explain that. So strong self-esteem, meaning confidence, right? So some of you say satisfaction, happiness. Yeah, you need to figure out what that is because that can definitely influence your answer, okay? Now, if you say happiness, that can be difficult because, again, happiness is subjective, right? Happiness is difficult to define. But let's just say happiness for now. Money, fame, okay? So these are the most common answers for happiness, for money, for fame. Those could be argued to be success in life, okay? And confidence, let's take that one, which is equatable to self-esteem here. Okay, why? So why is that success in life? Because it creates opportunities and a desire to thrive. Okay, so these are a little bit tricky. Defining success is really important. It's good to have an idea of these concepts before you sit in IELTS because not only you're tasked to question, but sometimes the speaking part 3 questions or part 2 questions can be connected to these kinds of topics like success, education, fortune. So it's good that if you're clear on what these actually are. A lot of us think we know what these are, but we never actually ask ourselves what these mean. So it's good to define them, certainly, before IELTS, to practice these. Okay, how? By smiling often, having a positive attitude, earning over $250 $50,000 per year. Let's say, okay, so you can define these differently per year being a movie star. All right. So that is, let's say, some definitions there. So what is success in life? It could be happiness, money, fame, confidence. You probably don't want to write about all of these, so choose one or two that you think is easy to write about when you're going to write the essay. And then stick to those. Why? Because these create opportunity and a desire to thrive. It means we want to live, we want to see tomorrow and go on to the next year. How? Well, we're happy if we smile and laugh often. We have a positive attitude. We say kind words. What kind of money is success? Earning more than $250,000 per year. Some of you might say $50,000 a year. Some of you might say $1 million a year. That's up to you, okay? So you define it. What is fame? It's being a movie star, sure. All right, so these are just some of the definitions. What's the controlling idea in this question? So again, the question is, some people believe that success in life comes from taking risks or chances. Others believe that success results from careful planning. Which do you agree with and why? What is the controlling idea? If the topic is success in life, then the controlling idea must be what? So what ideas or what information controls this topic of success in life? If you just write an essay about success in life, you're going to get a low band score because that's not exactly what the question's asking. Okay? Yeah, so James says the controlling idea here is taking risks or precise planning. Okay? Yeah, workouts is a little bit awkward, Jubilant. So controlling idea is take risks or careful planning. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So there again, we need to ask what, why, how. So what is taking risks? What is careful planning? Okay, so what do those actually mean? Just a moment, girls and guys. Just a moment. Hello? Yeah, Yun. All right, sorry, a slight interruption there in the class. I just got a delivery coming, and I'm the only one in the office right now. So think about the what, why, how for the risks and careful planning. While I take this package here, because it is very important, and then you can decide on your answer and your thesis. Okay, so think about the what, think about the why, think about the how, and then get the thesis going. All right, so let's see those what, why, hows, and let's see some thesis statements. Okay? All right, so let's see, any what, why, hows. What do you have so far up there? Okay, taking risks. What is taking risks? So I don't really see any what is taking risks, okay? Taking risks means making a blind decision, but it also means that you are willing to sacrifice something of value, right? So let's go and say that. So what is taking risks? I'm not sure if any of you thought about this, but you should. So sacrifice valuables for gains, okay? So here the why is to get more than what I gamble, right? So the reason why we take a risk is so that we can get more than what we put on the table, okay? And you can do that a lot of different ways. So how can you gamble? Okay? How can you gamble? Let's see what you've come up with for that. So James says taking a risk is having the liberty or the freedom to take to face odds and being confident about it. Sure. But how can you do that? So how do you gamble in life? What can you gamble with? What do you have that is of value which you can gamble? Okay? And this is an interesting question because once you realize the answer here, use your critical thinking, you can come up with a really good answer. Okay, Sudarashan Pant has an excellent answer. The two biggest valuables that we as humans gamble in life are time and money. Okay, so invest time and or money to gain more time and or money. Sure. We can gamble with something other than time and money as well. What else can we do? So we can gamble with time, we can gamble with money, we can gamble with freedom, and we can gamble with health as well, right? Okay, so those are all of our born valuables that we can, well, money not, we earn it as we get older, but 3 of the 4 are the valuables that we're born with, that we gamble with throughout our lives to achieve success, all right? So if we go back to the original question now, because let's say you're sitting in IELTS and you're looking at this question, right? So you're looking at this, some people believe that success in life comes from taking risks or chances. Others believe that success results from careful planning. Which do you agree with and why? So if you're looking at this and you did your paraphrase, which is looking good, and then you realize that the topic is success in life, you realize it's money, fame, confidence, happiness. You got these points. And then you thought about, okay, do I need to take risks or is it about careful planning? At this point, you should realize that the easiest answer is which choice, careful planning or taking risks? So what's your easiest choice to write your essay here for achieving success in life? Careful planning or taking risks? And you should realize this at this point. James says careful planning. It depends on your definition because careful planning is taking a risk. Why did I just say that? Why did I say careful planning is taking a risk? That's a bit of a strange argument to make. But why did I say that when you're carefully planning, you're still taking a risk? It's a weird argument, but it's sensible. Why? What's the crazy logic that I'm using here? Aha, study with HY says, well, you're using your time, right, when you're planning. Exactly. So when you do a lot of planning, you're actually investing your time, and your time is one of your most valuable, if not the most valuable asset in your life. All of us have no idea how much time we have on the earth. There's a chance that, ladies and gentlemen, right now in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to drop dead right here in front of you. Hopefully not, but I don't know that. Hopefully my life's going to be nice and long, but I don't know my expiry date. So my time has great value, and in fact, I don't even know the value of my time. So my time invested is one of my greatest assets that I gamble with at any point in my life. If I plan a business and I take months and months of planning, and I create a business plan and I get investors and I'm really confident about my business idea and that it's going to survive and it's going to be successful. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to be successful because of all of my careful planning. Believe me, as a businessman, the answer is, well, you're still taking a huge gamble, because if it's not as successful as you think it should be, or if things change in the world that are out of your control, now you've just wasted all of this time to meet with failure, right? So it's a strange way to say this, but taking risks is arguably something we always do in life. And to be successful, it's definitely a part of it, okay? So here, I'm not going to go for the what, why, how for careful planning. I'm just going to stay with taking risks and create a thesis. So I'm going to write my thesis here for the answer, and then try to do the same. The thesis statement is the most important. You need to have a strong thesis to have a strong essay. So please write a thesis statement. Okay, I don't want to spoil it for you. So write a thesis statement on risks, okay? So the argument here is taking risks is the way to success in life. Okay, and write a thesis statement that focuses on that argument. Okay, remember, a good thesis will make your essay, a bad one will break your essay. By the way, another essay that I marked today, again, it could have been much better, but there was no thesis in the introduction, and guess what? The student completely lost their direction in the second body paragraph, and their band score went from a 6.5 down to a 5. So you have to have a good thesis statement in your introduction. It comes at the end of the introduction. It's the last sentence of your introduction, and it tells your reader in a very clear way what you are planning to do and argue in your essay. Okay. So Suman says, I think taking risks is better than careful planning. And I will give different examples to support my argument. Suman, the problem with that thesis is, don't tell me what you will do, just do it. Just tell me why taking risks is better. Okay. Tynder says, taking risks is risks. Sometimes people can achieve things that can't think be. Tynder, that's really strange. I can't quite understand what you're saying. You should never have the word things in your essay, especially not in your thesis. It has zero value. So things has no value in your essay, especially not in your thesis. Okay, I'll get you back on screen here in a second. Don't worry. Meanwhile, I'll read some more of these statements. All right. So, James says, although precise groundwork and planning will lead to success in life, I strongly agree that taking the liberty to face odds will enhance self-esteem and lead to an achievable, prosperous life. I don't quite think that's the right thesis, Jubilant, because it's not directly answering this question. I'll show you what I mean here in a second, okay? Sebastian says, taking risks helps enjoy things better as you put a lot of effort into them and therefore makes them more valuable. Again, the word things has zero value. I don't know what you mean. So my question is, helps enjoy what things? Okay? Always find something better. So here's an example for my thesis. I believe that to be successful in life, a person must take risks because it is an effective way to increase value and opportunity. Okay? So this is my thesis. I believe that to be successful in life, a person must take risks because it is an effective way to increase value and opportunity. So my first paragraph, body paragraph 1, will be about taking risks to increase value. And my body 2 will be about taking risks to create opportunity. Okay? So those are my 2 body paragraphs, clearly from this. So this question, the reason I chose it for today's class, ladies and gents, because this question looks quite easy at first glance, but it's actually quite tricky because there are some words such as success, risk, and planning that are difficult to define. So it's actually quite tricky to express or explain these words clearly to your reader, and these can be very different for different people. So saying risk for one person, it can be very different than saying risk for another person. Okay? Same with planning, same with success. All right? Okay, so now we're ready to write our introductory paragraph. Your planning needs to happen very quickly. It happens in the first 5 minutes of your writing. And then you write an introduction. Your introduction should start with a hook. I know a lot of teachers and students think that that's not true, or you don't need a hook in IELTS. I completely disagree. You need a hook because it helps you to focus on your topic and gets you thinking about the right ideas, okay? So let me read a couple more thesis statements. Harmeet says, I believe careful planning is much better if we want to save something. Harmeet, that's a bad start. Save something. What do you mean something? Save what? Save life, save money, save people, save our health. But taking risks in life, we can achieve something extraordinary, doubling of something. Very careful with that one, Harmeet. Try to rewrite that. Pradeep Subkoti says, although certain individuals get success by making smooth and proper planning, you don't need to be so wordy, Pradeep. You can say, although certain individuals reach success with proper planning, I believe that taking risks can be, for an individual, can be more effective for success because it's a better use of time and money, something like that. Avoid the word we. Okay? All right, so the hook should include your topic, so it should include success, and it should be simple, no spelling, no grammar mistakes, keep the sentence simple, and make sure it catches your reader's attention. So Jubilant says, hook, to risk nothing is to gain nothing. That's a very interesting hook, Jubilant. I like it. I like it. Absolutely. Let's see, what are some other hooks? And it's nice. It's simple. Chunu says, taking risks is exciting. Soham says, no risk, no gain. Yeah, see, notice all of these interesting expressions. And now when you're thinking about this a little bit more deeply, I'm sure a lot of you students are realizing that, wait a second, there's a lot of catch sayings with risks, right? So you have to pay to play is another one. Murasa says, success depends on risk. Yeah, that's a very direct hook, Murasa, but I like it, okay? It's good. Success is always behind risk. I would say that, Suman, the other way. Risk is always behind success, okay? Ashish says, no pain, no gain. Yeah, again, that's another way, right? Because pain is that physical value that we're risking, right? So when you play a sport, you risk your health to score a goal. So if you're playing football or basketball or hockey, a lot of sports, even tennis or some sports where you don't think you're risking your health, or table tennis, you still are, right? You're risking your health to enjoy yourself, to be happy, and to score some points. I don't know about you, but I've injured myself playing sports, trying to make a good pass or trying to score a goal. So now you're realizing, wait a second, risk is definitely a big part of success, all right? Planning is too, but you certainly have to risk. So here's another way to say it. Life is filled with plans and risks. Okay, so I've kind of thrown both in there. Life is filled with plans and risks. I want to put the word success in there. I know I told you that's important, and it is. So life is filled with plans and risks in order to gain success. Okay, little bit more complex, but not too bad. Don't make any mistakes. Again, if you're not sure, then keep it real simple. Okay? So life is filled with plans and risks in order to gain success. That could be a hook right there. All right, and then the background. And in this question, the background is very important. Okay, the background is always important for a good introduction, but in this question, it's especially important. The background is about 2 sentences, and it basically includes a definition of your terms and the importance of the question that you're answering. So the definition here, you're defining success, and you're defining risk, and you're defining plans, and you're expressing why is it important to talk about this. Okay, so that's the key in this case. And it's very important for this question because your reader might have very different ideas about success and risk and planning than you do. So you have to be really clear here. Okay, so go ahead and write those up. I'll write mine up here. It is many individuals' goals to be happy and wealthy in life. This defines their success or their level of success. Okay? So there is my definition of success. And what am I using? I'm using the what, why, how, right? So here's my what is success in life. Happiness, money, fame, confidence. So I want to use the ideas that I planned in the first 3-4 minutes of my essay to write a good essay. Don't forget about your planning, okay? Don't just write those down. Use them in your writing. So it is many individuals' goals to be happy and wealthy in life. This defines their level of success. All right? And then we can keep going. Some people gamble with their, or I should say most people gamble with their time, money, and health to achieve these goals. Okay. All right. So now I'm defining risks. Okay. So most people gamble with their time, money, and health to achieve these goals. Although many people, or I don't even need the word people, although many may argue that careful planning is the key. And then here, I've already written my thesis. So all I need to do is copy that in there. Now in the official IELTS, you can actually write that a little bit further down in your answer sheet, and then all you need to do is write the hook and the background before it. Okay? So all I did there was just took my thesis and copied that in. And there is my introduction for this question, okay? Let's read it, make sure it's good. When you're preparing for IELTS at home, it's a really good idea to read your introduction at least 2-3 times before you begin to write your body paragraphs and your conclusion. If your introduction is not well written, if it's off topic, if it has some strange ideas, if it contains mistakes, then the rest of the essay will fall apart. So be sure that your introduction is strong. Your introduction is the foundation for the house or the essay, the body, and the conclusion, which is the roof that goes on that house. So if you have a weak foundation, if your introduction is weak, then you can build a decent house on top of it, but it's going to collapse, okay? And it's very difficult, if not impossible, to write a good house on top of a weak foundation or a weak introduction, all right? Marasa says, success can be directly related to money, fame, and happiness. Very good, Marasa. That would be a good definition, okay? Suman says, risk is about gambling with money, time. Don't use etc., Suman. It doesn't have value. So ETC means nothing for me, which people can use to achieve goals. Yes, Suman, okay? Not we, but people. Don't use we. And don't use etc. or and so on, all right? But they're good. So those are some good definitions. Harry Talker says, yeah, you can, Harry. So Harry, your question is, can I write a pronoun like he or she when giving an example? Yeah, you can. Sure, absolutely. Okay. All right. So then we write our body paragraph 1. And body paragraph 1, so here, my thesis. This is my thesis. The thesis is really, really important. It ends here. And my body 1 is increase value. And my body 2 is opportunity. Okay? So my body paragraph 1 talks about increasing value through taking risks. And my body paragraph 2 talks about taking risks to gain opportunity. Okay? You're very welcome, Harry Talker. Yeah, throw questions out at me. Don't be shy. All right, so let's write that body paragraph 1. So body paragraph 1 then starts with a topic sentence, okay? So body 1 starts with that topic sentence. You don't need to write this in IELTS. This is just for your notes. Okay? And your topic sentence is basically a definition of increased value. So what do you mean that I need to take a risk to increase value? So what do you mean by that? Can you define that for me? Has Adrian lost his marbles? Says, have I gone crazy that we need to take risk to increase value, which then leads to success? Give me a definition of that. Harmeet says, risk is like money. We gain from it or we lose it. Well, that's more of an explanation, Harmeet, than a topic sentence. Okay. Soham, never use the word your in your writing. So what do I mean increase value through risk? What do I mean by that? So a topic sentence is a definition of your point 1. All right. Amardeep, your thesis in your introduction is the way that you connect to your body paragraphs. It is the strongest way to connect. Okay. So here would be my topic sentence. So taking a risk is done to invest one's time or money in hopes of gaining more than their initial input. Okay, so that would be one definition. You could say that in a more simple way. Again, I'm just showing some good writing here for you. So taking a risk is done by investing one's time. Let's fix that up a little bit. So if you see something that you want to change, then all you do is put a line through it or put the words in. So taking risk is done by investing one's time or money in hopes of gaining more than their initial input or than their initial investment. Okay? Again, if I want to write it more clearly and when I'm practicing at home, I can try to change it as much as possible to make it as best as possible. Okay? That's the way that it reads the nicest. All right? So taking risk is done by using one's time or money in hopes of gaining more than their initial investment. All right? So Preeti says, wealth gives you respect in society that is valuable achievement in life. Preeti, yes, but we're talking about taking risk to achieve success. And we're talking about taking risk to achieve success by increasing value. Okay? Pachu says, are we going to write risk in terms of money or time in body paragraph or something else? Pachu, that is a very good question. Your background tells you that, okay? So here I said it is many individuals' goals to be happy and wealthy in life. So here my success is defined as happy and wealthy. And what that means is that I have to use these two. So I shouldn't talk about health too much because I'm not really using that in my definition, and definitely not anything different that I don't have in the definition. So here I should talk about success in terms of money and happiness. Okay? So here I said one's time or money in hopes of gaining more than their initial investment. So here I need to talk about an explanation of how I can invest time and money to get more money and more happiness. Okay? And that's exactly what my explanation here should be. So why, how, invest time and money to gain success and be happy. Okay? This is the question that I'm trying to answer in this next point. Okay, following my logic so far, I know I've thrown a trickier question at you today, and it's an interesting one because it looks easy, the task 2 question, when you look at it first. But to write a good essay for this question is actually quite difficult. I would probably hope that I don't get this kind of a question if I sat the IELTS. But this is an IELTS question from the past. Okay? So Marasa says, risk means to invest precious item of life like money or time. Not item, Marasa, but precious aspect of life like money and time to achieve a specific goal or to achieve a greater goal, okay? Because we're looking to make more than what we originally put in, okay? People will often use hundreds of hours in their life to build a successful business. And I can even say more money, right? So people often use hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars in their life to build a successful business, hoping that they can get even more money and time in the long run. This makes them successful and happy. Okay, so that would be an explanation. And clearly this is a gamble, right? So Don't overcomplicate. If you keep your thoughts clear and you visualize, how do people take risks? Lots of people around the world, most of us, in fact, in our lives, will take a risk by investing into business, okay? And even if you go get a job somewhere and you're working for somebody for hours for dollars, you're still investing into a business, okay? I'm not going to get too deep into that, but whenever we go and we work and we exchange our time for money, we're basically investing, and we eventually invest not just our time, but the money as well, in hopes of getting more time, more money, whereby we can create happiness, okay? So this is a very simple way to say that. It's a very simple way to express that risk. Suman Dalakati says, leaving a job and starting a new company or business to achieve a greater goal and earning money as well as fame is the way many people do this. So Suman, that is a very good explanation. You took a little bit of a different approach, but that works really well. Okay, you are on the right path. Absolutely. All right. So good. So we have our explanation. Now, what comes next? What comes next? So what should I write about next? What do I include next in my body paragraph to work towards a Band 8, Band 9 IELTS score on this task 2? Very good, Murasa, Dicha, Chunu, and Sami. Yeah, we should do an example. So here, with your example, real and visible. Okay, make it real, make it visible. So give me an example of the explanation. Real and visible, connected strongly to the explanation. So it can be from your own life. The question asks, use examples from your own life, okay? So, okay, I haven't included that in here, but you'll see in your IELTS questions that it always says, use examples and explanations from your own life and experience. So include that example. So here we want to say, for example, my Uncle John invested much of his time in the last 5 years money in the last 5 years to establish a new vegan restaurant. Okay. So here, I'm just making this example up. I'm visualizing it. One of the big risks and gambles many people take to realize their dreams and happiness, of course, is to make a restaurant. A lot of people try, and hey, I'm sure a lot of you will agree, because this is true in many parts of the world, that a lot of people fail. I don't know about other parts of the world, but in Canada, the statistic is 1 out of 10 restaurants makes it past 10 years. So it's a very high gamble. It's a very low odds. A lot of people will start a restaurant thinking, I'm going to make a ton of money and I'm going to show the world how great of a cook I am and all of my good food ideas. But in fact, the restaurant business is very cutthroat. It's very tricky, and a lot of restaurants fail in less than 10 years' time. So much of his time and money in the last 5 years to establish a vegan restaurant. So far, he has been very successful, made good money, and fame. So he is quite happy. All right. Clearly, if he had not taken this gamble, he would not be in this position. Okay? All right. Let's see what you've put up there. Tynder says, my neighbor who invested a decade ago in the stock exchange is taking a great risk and getting success to set up his own business. Tynder, that'll work. That's great. Okay, that's a good example of taking risks to gain success, right? Make sure you connect to the original idea. Jubilant James says there she invested a lot more money and time for her own family, and she feels successful. Sure, but you need more in there, Jubilant. I'm guessing all of those stars mean what action she actually took for that investment. Just put it up there. Don't be shy. Just get it all out there. Suman says, I was working in a 5-star hotel for $25 an hour near my village up until last year, but now I have my own coffee shop, and as a result, my output is much greater compared to my hotel work. Suman, that's good too. Okay, there's a couple of grammar mistakes in there, but you're really going in the right direction. Okay, Jubilant, I get it. It's gone. Sorry, I didn't read that, but thank you for letting me know. Those are some really good examples, though, ladies and gents. So you're doing a great job. Okay, that's where you're going with it. So, for example, my Uncle John invested much of his time and made money in the last 5 years, a new vegan restaurant. All right, so let's read this body paragraph and see how we're doing. Make sure we haven't gone all crazy, gone off topic. Make sure we're still on a good, on track to a good band score. So taking risk is done by using one's time or money in hopes of gaining more than their initial investment. People often use hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars in their life to build a successful business, hoping that they can get even more money and time in the long run. This makes them successful and happy. For example, my Uncle John invested much of his time and money in the last 5 years to establish a new vegan restaurant. So far, he has been very successful. And this is why we review. He has made good money and become quite famous. So he is quite happy. Clearly, if he had not gambled, he would not be in this position. Okay? And then we can go into the second body paragraph. Body 2. Again, we start with the topic sentence. So, another reason for taking risks to be successful is, and then that will be your homework. So, write the rest of this essay, expand point 2 of the thesis into a body paragraph. Point 2 is risks create opportunity. I'm sure if you visualize, if you think about this, you'll think of some really good ideas of, yeah, wait a second, I definitely need to take a risk to create opportunity. And opportunity helps me to lead to success. So think about that. Write body paragraph 2. Send body paragraph 2 and your conclusion to me by email. Here is my email again, adrian@aehelp.com, and I'll tell you if you're on the right track or if you've gone way off topic or if there are way too many grammar mistakes. So send that to me. I'll let you know how you did. Again, ladies and gents, I think as we got going there, you started to really feel what I mean by this question. Just let me get you back for one more second there for the end of the class. And you started to come up with some solid ideas. So you started to really develop your thoughts clearly, which is good to see. So don't be shy. Finish the essay or rewrite the entire essay in your own words. Just make sure you answer the question well. And then send it to me. And if you want to learn a lot of great strategies, not just for writing, but also for listening, reading, and speaking, and watch many, many hours of high-definition pre-recorded videos, check out our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, glshelp.com for general IELTS. Thank you so much for watching this somewhat difficult task 2 lesson today. Keep up the good fight. You all have brilliant minds. Don't ever let people tell you otherwise. As long as you get all those gears moving and working up there, you can become incredible thinkers and students and doers in society. I believe in you, so believe in yourself. For those of you writing your IELTS exams at the end of this month, I know there are many. Good luck to all of you. I'm with you in spirit. Bye for now, everyone.